Hi guys, welcome to Hoops Junction. Post-game show, game 1 of the NBA Finals. Golden State Warriors take the game handily, 113-90. Just going over some numbers for both teams really quick before we get into the whole breakdown, the nitty-gritty, what you want to know, how things could change from game 1 to game 2, and what this means for both teams. You know, looking at LeBron James, who had 28 points, 15 rebounds, 8 assists. He had how many turnovers? He had 8 turnovers. LeBron James almost had a quadruple double, and not in the way that you want to have it. He was minus 22 from the field. Kevin Love had 15 points. He had 21 rebounds, which was really good. He went 3 for 6 from 3, which is also well. But the whole Cleveland starting 5 was like negative. Kyrie Irving, he scored 24 points, and he only had 2 assists. Tristan Thompson had 0 points. He didn't score anything, which is kind of odd. Usually he gets putbacks and stuff like that. Cleveland's bench essentially gave them 21 points, but it was basically in garbage time. Cavs overall from the field, they shot 35%, 34.9%, 35% from 3, and that was ugly. That's ugly. 35% for an entire game. That means either one or two things. You were getting locked up, or it was a combination where you just was just playing so poorly. So either locked up or just playing poorly, which could be a combination of both. Then you have Cleveland's 20 turnovers, and then your primary ball handler, LeBron James, had 8 of them, which doesn't help. You know, you go to the Warriors, they shot 42% from the field, but they also shot 36% from the 3, which was terrible. And their free throw percentage wasn't good as well, but they had 31 assists to Cavs' 15 assists for the entire game. Kevin Durant went off. He had 38 points. He had 8 rebounds, 8 assists. I mean, just 14 for 26. And for those who say Stephen Curry is not a dominant player, he had 28 points. He had 10 assists. He had 6 rebounds. I don't know if you don't call that dominant, but I think that's pretty dominant, especially for a point guard. So we broke down the numbers a little bit, you know. Let me see if there's any. Oh, another person we want to talk about is Klay Thompson. He only had 6 points, but he went 3 for 16. So he's keep shooting, which is really good. You know, you don't want your guy that's struggling to stop shooting. You want him to keep shooting, especially if he's one of your best shooters. So imagine if Klay Thompson was getting going tonight, it would have been an even bigger rout. So what does this mean for both teams? Well, I'm gonna start with the losing team. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, this means number one, they definitely have to clean up the glass. They definitely have to clean up the glass. They got out-rebounded, I believe, in the first half. It wasn't good. And then towards the end of the game, it evened itself out. But they got to clean up on the glass. The other thing is, they need somebody who consistently produce some offense other than Kyrie Irving and LeBron James. You know, everybody else on their team, basically, besides Kevin Love, basically didn't show up. And after a while, LeBron seemed almost disinterested because he's like, I got to do all this heavy lifting. And, you know, Kyrie only could do but so much because when he comes out the game, all they do is double Kyrie and make him give up the ball, which is smart. You know, they get out on him on those screens, and they blitz him, which I said the Golden State Warriors should do. Blitz Kyrie and LeBron on those screens, make other guys playmakers, which a lot of them weren't used to, and that really hurt the Cleveland Cavaliers. You saw it all in their spread. Like, you know, a lot of Tristan Thompson, 0 points. J.R. Smith, 3 points. Darren Williams, 0 points. Like, a lot of guys. Richard Jefferson was the only guy that kind of showed up. And, you know, Korver had 0 points. 0 for 3. So, a lot of other guys weren't used to being playmakers. The Cleveland Cavaliers, in my estimation, they have to try to steal game 2. They can't go back to Cleveland down 2-0 with the way that the Golden State Warriors played tonight because the Golden State Warriors didn't play particularly well. Yes, they had 4 turnovers, which ties the fewest turnovers in playoff history, but they didn't play well. They shot 42% from the field and 36% from 3. Like, what if they get to 50% from the field and 40% from 3? You're gonna lose by 30, and you can't have that if you're the Cavs. Like, you really have to try to steal game 2. You have to run plays. Tyronn Lue's offense, which is that silly pick and roll crap, putting Stephen Curry in the pick and roll, that only works if it was last year and Stephen Curry was injured. Stephen Curry's not injured this time around. He's more nimble, he's quicker, and the way that the Golden State Warriors do, they switch everything. So when you're coming to the screen for Curry, Curry just switches off to your guy that's rolling, and then now LeBron, he tries to lob it in, but they double it. As soon as LeBron tries to lob it in Tristan Thompson, they double Tristan Thompson. Now Tristan Thompson has to become a playmaker. He's not accustomed to doing that. And the rotations for the Warriors were crisp tonight. So they have to run plays. They have to run more of horns, and they have to, I guess, try to get LeBron James going downhill, but that doesn't really matter either because you have players in Durant, Iguodala, and Draymond Green who can somewhat contain him. All his attacks at the basket, he was somewhat contained. I don't know if he was lost a little explosion or he just tired because he played, a great deal of minutes, whatever the case is. He played 40 minutes tonight. He played more minutes than everybody on his team, which is ridiculous. He should have got a blow more somewhere otherwhere. So that being said, they have to find some offense where they run plays. Like Golden State's defense is too good for you to just run pick and roll and think you're gonna pick and roll Stephen Curry to death. That's awful. That's awful offense, and that's not gonna be good. 20 turnovers because you're trying to force balls where they don't belong. You have guys that are not accustomed to being playmakers. So that's what's going to happen to you. That's just what's going to happen to you when you run a simple offense against a team that is very sound defensively. I told you they were sound defensively. Now, as far as the Golden State Warriors side, all they have to do is continue to do two things. One, play physically. They were very, very physical. Come out physical straight out the gate, which was tremendous. They were physical within their right. It wasn't like dirty or nothing. It wasn't like last year finals when the Cavs were getting away with murder, holding, chop blocking people and stuff like that. It was very physical, and that worked in their favor. Another thing is they defended everything to the max. Like, even I saw there was a play down the stretch. Golden State's up 20 points. And I believe it was Iman Shumpert wanted to shoot a three. Durant is running to close out, not giving them any daylight, not giving them any confidence, not giving them anything to work on in the next game to work off of. Like, okay, he hit a couple of threes, we got this going. Golden State needs to contest everything consistently, which they were doing. So physicality and contesting. Their shots will come because, as you can see the way that they play basketball, they run up and down the court. And that frenetic pace is not something that Cleveland necessarily wants to play unless LeBron James and Kyrie Irving got it going. When they've got it going, that frenetic pace is good for them because they can get to the line and stuff like that. And LeBron went to the line like 10 times tonight. Or 30. LeBron James went to the line 12 times. So that being said, that works when they're hot. But if you're containing them and they're running a slow offense, that's not going to work. So they have to run plays, and they got to get LeBron James off ball more because he can't continue to wear himself out, play big minutes, and then expect to, do all of this, play God on the court. That doesn't work. But Golden State, like I said, have to play physically. They have to defend for the very end of the whistle. And their offense wasn't even great tonight, and Kevin Durant and Curry went off. Draymond Green wasn't necessarily, killing it. Klay Thompson struggled. And they still had a big blowout. So that just shows you the depth. And, that if you have 4 All-Stars, you kind of expect it, but they didn't play well. But defensively, they were sound, and they forced turnovers. And they found a way to win the game that didn't include their strong suit, which is offense. A lot of people sleep on them defensively. And if they continue to clamp down this way defensively, their rotations were ridiculous. I don't know if it's Steve Kerr or Mike Brown, but those rotations were crisp. They were very, very crisp. It was ridiculous. There were some passes where I was like, okay, that's a layup. That's an easy dunk. Nope, it was a turnover. That was just crazy. Even the glass, the way they were cleaning up the glass, getting little tips, guys was crashing the boards. Stephen Curry crashed the boards a couple times. It was very good to see. It's just one game. Nothing to overreact about. Cleveland they have to steal the next game. If they don't steal this next game, in my opinion, the series is over. Because you can't go back to Cleveland down 2-0 to a team like this. I think the Warriors recognized their error last year. They didn't put their foots on the Cavaliers' necks. So this time around, if they go to Cleveland with a 2-0 lead, and you have Kevin Durant playing in rhythm, and they're exploiting their matchups, every single play on the Warriors was a threat tonight. I mean, they took Kevin Love off the dribble. They took Tristan Thompson off the dribble. LeBron got taken off the dribble, which is amazing to me because he's rarely gets beat. You know, Kyrie Irving was getting posted up by Kevin Durant. Every single matchup they exploited it. Even when their offense got dumbed down, they still exploited those matchups, which was very, very tremendous to me. It wasn't like they were like, okay, well we're up by 20, let's stop running our stuff. They kept running their stuff. Cavs, they need to get in their bag way more. They need to get into offense quicker, and you got to stop running that silly pick and roll with Stephen Curry because they got that figured out. They're switching everything. And when they're switching everything, when LeBron's trying to make extra passes he thinks are open, they're coming from underneath and getting turnovers. So we'll see game 2. Like I said, Cavs need a split. If they don't get the split, in my opinion, series is over. This is Vlad from Hoops Junction with Hoops Meets Hoopla. Peace.